a smooth muscle or unstriated. You can also use the word called unstriated muscle. These muscles are associated in the myocardial wall of the heart, and the muscle cells assemble in a branching pattern to form cardiac muscle. So the myofibrils, here you can see in this beautiful picture that the myofibrils are piled up one above the others, which bisects I band, and thin filaments are firmly attached to the Z line. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 2 of this chapter 19 called Locomotion and Movement. Myself, B. Shobha Rani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in my last session, we started off with a very new concept called locomotion and movement. So what was locomotion? What do you mean by locomotion? Movement or shifting of the whole body from one position to another position is called locomotion, or movement of body parts is called as movement. And we also studied about the types of movements like the amoeboid movement, the ciliary movement, the flagellar movement, and the muscular movement. Hope you remember we studied about muscle. Muscle is a very, very important tissue which is derived from a very important germinal layer called mesoderm. Moving on to the remaining concepts of this chapter, let us understand the types of muscles. As we said, the muscular movement is made possible by muscles. Here you can see the picture of muscles. So now let us understand the types of muscles. There are 3 types of muscles. One is called striated muscle. Striated muscle is also called as skeletal muscle. Second one is called as smooth muscle. And the third one is called as the cardiac muscle. So what are the types of muscle? There are 3 types of muscle. One is called the striated muscle. Second one is called the smooth muscle, or it is also called as unstriated muscle. And the third one is called the cardiac muscle. So the types of muscles, there are 3 types. I think all of us know muscles are of 2 types, voluntary and involuntary. Voluntary and involuntary muscles. Voluntary and involuntary muscles. What do you mean by voluntary muscles? Muscles which are under our control. Involuntary muscles, muscles which are not under our control. So here striated muscles, as we also call them as skeletal muscles, are the voluntary muscles. They are the voluntary muscles which are under our control. So these muscles are closely associated. Why are they called as skeletal muscles? Because these are the muscles which are closely associated with the skeleton, and their activities are under the control of nervous system. Hence they are called the voluntary muscles. So these muscles are closely associated with the skeleton, hence the name skeletal muscles. And why are they called as striated muscles? They have dark and light bands, hence the name striated. They have light and dark striations, hence the name striated muscle. And why are they called as skeletal muscle? Because these muscles are closely associated with the bone, the skeleton, and their activities are under the control of nervous system. Hence, they are called as what? Voluntary muscles. Hope you have understood what are striated muscle. Moving on to the next one. Here you can see the skeletal muscle. Here you can see the dark and light bands. Dark bands, or also we can use the word called striations. They are called as striations, right? Here you can see the smooth muscle. Smooth muscle do not have striations. So they do not have striations. Hence they are called as a smooth muscle or unstriated. You can also use the word called unstriated muscle. This is called striated muscle. Right? Muscles are of 3 types. One is called striated muscle or skeletal muscle. Second one is called smooth muscle or unstriated muscle. Third one is called cardiac muscle. So striated muscle or skeletal muscle, why it is called striated muscle? Because it is having dark and light striations, hence the name striated muscle. Why it is called skeletal muscle? Because this muscle is associated with the skeletal and it is under the control of the nervous system, hence it is also called as voluntary muscle. Then moving on to smooth muscle, which is also called as visceral muscle or unstraight. Why it is called visceral? Because it is usually found in the it is found inside the body. So it is usually found inside the body parts, hence it is called as the visceral. Visceral means what? Inside. So inside our body we have so many organs. So they are all associated with many organs of our body, hence it is called as visceral muscle. And why it is called unstriated muscle? Because you don't find light and dark striations like how you see it in striated muscle, hence it is called as smooth muscle. And these are located in the inner walls of visceral organs. Inner walls of visceral organs, like where do you come across the smooth muscle? Like the alimentary canal or the digestive system, reproductive tract. Then they are not under the control, and smooth muscle, as I said, they are also called as what? Involuntary muscles. These are called voluntary muscles. These are called involuntary muscles. Why they are called involuntary muscles? They are not under our control. Like for example, inside our body we have so many. Are they under our control? No. So like that, even the smooth muscle which forms the lining of the walls of, it be alimentary canal or reproductive tract, they are not under our control. Hence they are also called as what? Involuntary muscles. But they are not under the control of nervous system, hence they are called as involuntary muscles. So striated muscle, what are the types of muscle? There are three types of muscle. One is called striated muscle or skeletal muscle. Second one is called smooth muscle or visceral muscle or unstriated muscle. Third one is called as cardiac muscle, which we are going to study in the coming slide. So striated muscle, why it is called striated? Because it is having dark and light striations, hence the name the striated muscle. Why it is called skeletal muscle? Because it is associated with the skeleton and they are under the control of nervous system, hence they are also called as voluntary muscle. Smooth muscle, why they are called as smooth muscle? It is not having dark and light striations and both the ends are pointed. So, and they are usually found inside the body parts, located in the inside the body parts, and hence it is called as visceral muscle. Or why it is called unstriated muscle? It is not having dark and light bands. So these are located in the inner walls of visceral organs like alimentary canal, reproductive tract, etc. and they are not under the control of the nervous system, hence they are called as involuntary muscles. Moving on to the third type called the cardiac muscle. The very word itself will tell you. Cardiac means what? Heart muscle. Here you can see the picture of the cardiac muscle. So now let us understand what will be the feature of this cardiac muscle. These muscles are associated in the myocardial wall of heart. Myocardium, as we know, the heart is having three layers. Pericardium, outermost, myocardium, inner middle, then endocardium, that is inside. This is outer, this is inner, and this is middle. So these muscles are associated in the myocardial wall of the heart, and the muscle cells assemble in a branching pattern to form cardiac muscle. Here you can see the branching. This is another feature of cardiac, branching of muscles. And it is multinucleated. And also you come across intercalated discs. Intercalated discs. So these muscles are associated in the myocardial wall of heart. The muscle cells assemble in a branching pattern to form cardiac muscle, and their activities are not under the control of nervous system, hence they are involuntary muscles. So these muscles are associated in the myocardial wall of the heart. The muscle cells assemble in a branching pattern to form cardiac muscle, and their activities are not, so they are called involuntary muscles. They are not under the control of the will. Then structure of muscles. Now let us understand the structure of muscles. Here you can see the picture of the structure of the human muscle. structure of human muscle. Now let us understand the structure of a muscle. A muscle is made up of number of muscle bundles, or what we use the word called fascicles. Here you can see the fascicles. These are called as fascicles, or we can also call it as muscle bundles, or we use the word called myofibrils. We also can use the word called myofibrils. So a muscle is made up of a number of muscle bundles or fascicles held together by a collagenous white fibers connective tissue layer called fascia. And each muscle bundle contains a number of muscle fibers. So here you can see a number of muscle fibers. A number of muscles. So a muscle is made up of a number of muscle bundles of fascicles held together by a collagenous, that is white fibers, connective tissue layer called fascia. Each muscle bundle contains a number of muscle fibers. So each muscle fiber is lined by plasma membrane called sarcolemma. So here you can see the sarcolemma. So this is nothing but called membrane, outer, that is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane called what? Plasma called sarcolemma. A muscle is made up of a number of muscle bundles or fascicles held together by a collagenous white fiber, that is connective tissue layer called fascia. Each muscle bundle contains a number of muscle fibers, and each muscle fiber is lined by a plasma membrane called sarcolemma that encloses a cytoplasm called sarcoplasm. Here you can see the cytoplasm is called as sarcoplasm. Plasma membrane is called sarcolemma, and the cytoplasm is called sarcoplasm. So a muscle, structure of a muscle has the following features. A muscle is made up of a number of muscle bundles or fascicles held together by a collagenous white fiber or connective tissue layer called fascia. Each muscle bundle contains a number of muscle fibers, and each muscle fiber is lined by the plasma membrane called sarcolemma that encloses a cytoplasm called sarcoplasm. Then a skeletal muscle fiber is syncytium, as the sarcoplasm contains. What do you mean by syncytium? Syncytium means multinucleate or many nuclei. So here you can see many nuclei. So a skeletal muscle fiber is syncytium, as the sarcoplasm contains many nuclei. So the endoplasmic reticulum, that is the sarcoplasmic reticulum of the muscle fibers, are the storehouse of calcium ions. So the sarcoplasm contains numerous contractile fibers called myofibrils. So a skeletal muscle fiber is a syncytium. What do you mean by syncytium? That is multinucleate. That means the cytoplasm contains many nuclei, and the endoplasmic reticulum, that is a sarcoplasmic reticulum of the muscle fibers, are the storehouse of calcium ions, and the sarcoplasm contains numerous contractile proteins called myofibrils. So the myofibrils are stacked. What do you mean by stacked? Piled up one above the other. So here you can see how they are piled up. So the muscle myofibrils are stacked. Stacked means piled up one above the other. Piled up, just like how we pile coins one above the other. So the piled up one above the other. So the myofibrils, here you can see in this beautiful picture that the myofibrils are piled up one above the other. So the myofibrils are stacked in compartments called sarcomeres, which are the structural and functional units of muscles. And myofibrils contain all of us know that muscles are responsible for movement. So that movement of the muscle is made possible by two very important muscular proteins, or you can call it as muscle proteins, called actin and myosin. So what are two very important muscular proteins? They are called as also as muscular proteins. What are they? Actin and myosin. Very, very important. So because of the sliding movement, that elasticity or that friction is created whereby the movement is made possible. So myofibrils contain two kinds of proteins, namely actin and myosin, that gives alternate light and dark bands on the myofibrils. So these, as we already come across, the striated muscles or skeletal muscles have dark and light bands, and that is mainly due to the presence of the actin and myosin. So the light band contain actin and is called I band or isotropic band, and the dark band contains myosin and is called as A band or anisotropic band. So the light band contains actin and the dark band contains myosin. So, and the light band is also called I band, isotropic band, whereas the dark band is called A band, that is anisotropic band. So the myofibrils are stacked in compartments called sarcomeres, which are the structural and functional units of a muscle. Then myofibrils contain two kinds of proteins, namely actin and myosin, which are otherwise called as muscular proteins, and that gives alternate light and dark bands on the myofibrils. So the light band contains which type of muscular protein? Called actin, and it is also called as what? I band. I stands for what? Isotropic band. And the dark band, which is containing what? Another muscular protein called myosin, and is called A band. A stands for what? Anisotropic band. So here you can see in this beautiful picture the A band and the Z line, H line and the sarcomere. So actin filaments are thinner than myosin filaments. So here you can see the thick and thin filaments. So here actin are thinner, whereas myosin are thick filament. So these are responsible for light bands and these are responsible for dark bands. So actin filaments, here you can see the light and the dark band, light band and the dark band. So actin filaments are thinner than myosin filament, hence they are called thin and thick filaments respectively. At the center of each I band is an elastic fiber called Z line. Here you can see the Z line. So in between, here you can see the two Z lines, which bisects I band, and the thin filaments are firmly attached to the Z line. So here you can see the Z line which are firmly attached. So actin filaments are thinner than myosin filaments, hence they are called thin and thick filament respectively. At the center of each I band is a elastic fiber called Z line, which bisects I band, and thin filaments are firmly attached to the Z line. So the thick filaments in the A band are also held together by a thin fibrous membrane called the M line. Here you can see the M line, H zone. So the thick filament in the A band are also held together by a thin fibrous membrane called M line. The I and A band are arranged alternatively throughout the length of the myofibril. So this is the picture of a myofibril. Here you can see the thick and thin filament. Thick and thin filament are alternating each other throughout the myofibril. So the portion of the myofibril between two successive Z lines is considered as the functional unit. So the thick filaments in the A band are also held together by a thin fibrous membrane called M line. The I and A band are arranged alternatively throughout the length of the myofibrils, and the portion of the myofibrils between the two successive Z line is considered as the functional unit. And that functional unit is nothing but called what? Sarcomere. So that functional unit is called sarcomere. So here you can see the beautiful picture of the sarcolemma muscle, myofibril. So here you can see the myofibrils. Here you can see the dark and the light bands. So here you can see the M line, then you can see the Z line, right? So this is called as a sarcomere, which is the functional unit. So the central part of thick filament not overlapped by thin filament is called H zone. So what is H zone? The central part of thick filament which is not overlapped by the thin filament is called the H zone. Hope you have understood the very important concepts about the muscle and the structure of a muscle, everything in this particular session. All the concepts what you learn in this chapter is very important from examination point of view, right? So I'll be back in the coming session with some more interesting concepts. Till then, goodbye and thank you.